Hello everyone, welcome back to round two of Andrew's amazing presentations on John Fisk's just incredibly captivating book, as we all know, but that's what we're all here, because we're all here to learn. So yeah, my name's Andrew Hales. I'm from Com124. My job this week was to talk about chapter 7, which was structuralist theory and applications. Once again, very exciting chapter, so much involved, but as Bruce put it, we have to rave. So my rave this week is probably going to have not much to do with the actual chapter, because I think by now we're a bit sick about hearing about that, so I'm going to adapt what I think that chapter's kind of trying to say to my experiences at my internship in regards to the advertising world. And basically, advertising is a solid mix of the imperialism and structuralism system. So like, the research is the foundation of basically every advertising campaign. Like, if you don't understand the research, if you don't sit there and do it, it's not really going to help you in the long run when it comes to trying to hit your target audience. And that's kind of where structuralism sort of comes in, because you kind of want to understand as much as you can about your target audience per se, so that you can hit them on the 7,000 plus options you got when it comes to media channels these days. So basically, the main enterprise of structuralism is to make sense of how people see the world. So when it comes to advertising, that's obviously something that's going to be very important to you, because if you can understand how your consumer views your product, you're obviously going to be able to hit them on more emotional those sort of want to buy sort of moments. And if you think about it, there's really no wrong answer when it comes to advertising. But if you can understand, the more you can understand your brand, your client, your consumer, the category you're in, what you're up against, obviously the more chance you're going to stand. And the fact that there's so much data out there these days, you can literally target people like nearly to the person, really. If you could type in 40-year-old male that works in a trade that lives in Dubbo that drives a Hilux, done. And then you could figure out exactly pretty much what that guy does all day, or what a typical guy that fits that category does. Anyway, and like the way that structuralism involves culture, like has a very close association. They actually work in the same building with another company known as Identity, and their job is to literally figure out the multicultural aspect of Australia, which is growing like that. Like, I think we all know that. So you got to understand, like, if you might want to sell a product in Sydney, but like a board that you put up on a bus stop in the middle of the city is going to hit a very multicultural thing. But if you go out to the western suburbs, like, I'm not really familiar with Sydney at all, but I understand that there's probably some communities in Sydney that are more leaning towards some nationalities, or multicultural nationalities, than just your typical Aussie bloke. So you might want to tailor your advertising a little bit more towards them. I don't know, like maybe most of those people don't speak English. I honestly don't know. I really don't know, so I don't want to offend anyone. I apologise if I do. But yeah, like, that's why there's companies out there like Identity who are able to process the data from a different perspective as your normal everyday Google search, if you know what I mean. And like, there's so much, like Levi Strauss talks about all this. There's so many different, like, the words that I read in this. It's hard. Like, I'm raving right now because like my honest opinion is like it's really about understanding. If you can understand people, then that's basically, that's it. I really don't know how else to put it. Like I've spent like over 10 years in hospitality, and the best thing that's taught me is like I feel like I've met every type of person. Like every time I meet a new person, like a new type of person, I'm amazed. I'm like, wow, like, where have you been hiding? Like, okay, I want to know more. Like either they're good, they're bad. Like in hospitality, obviously you deal with a lot of different type of people, but that's why we all go to uni, and that's why we're doing this, and that's why I've just done that. So that's it. So yeah, I hope you all enjoyed it. Obviously, I could have talked a lot more about the chapter, but to be honest, I really found it that boring, and I hope this was a little bit more entertaining than your average thing. And at the end of the day, we're just here to communicate with each other, and I hope I've communicated with you tonight. So have a good one, everybody. Bye.